And we are live. Good afternoon. This is day 4 Parent Summit Africa 2020. Today is day 4 and the final day. Wow, 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 wow. We made it. Who is in the house? I'll just wait a little for people to come in so that we can get this started. I'll just wait a little bit for people to join in so that we can get this started. Today, right now, we're going to start with a session on how to raise wholesome boys, how to raise 10 over 10 boys. I say that the human being is a three-dimensional human being. You have the spirit, you have the physical, and then you have the mind. So if you want to raise a wholesome person, that means that you must be taking care of both the mind, the spirit, and the body. And we have the Raising Boys champion, Ebuka Obika there, and he is the one that is coming to talk to us this afternoon on how to raise wholesome boys. But before we start, you might just be joining us for the first time and you might be wondering what Parent Summit Africa is all about. What is Parent Summit Africa all about? Some people have joined us from day one. They most likely can tell what we're all about. But if you're joining us for the first time, we would like to let you know what Parent Summit is all about. And I'll play a short clip for you to get you acquainted with what we're doing here before I welcome the speaker to come teach us, because we're all students. I have my notepads, I have my pen, I'm also taking notes. So as you listen, also get your notepads, get your pen, and be ready to learn and take notes.
What we do with Parent Summit Africa is to help parents experience an awakening that will cause them to take a part to creating a change in themselves individually, as well as commit to raising a wholesome 21st century child. And as we do this collectively, we are building the kind of society that we want to see. Our mission with the Parent Summit Africa is to create a platform that equips parents with the skills, strategies, and resources for self-transformation and raising wholesome children. Our vision is to effect social and societal change through parenting education, especially to change the narrative of Africa and the African child.
So that is what we are all about. We are changing the world. We are raising our children wholesomely so that we can create the kind of society that we want to see. It's a collective responsibility. If you do your job and I do my job, the family is the foundation for the world. The family is the smallest unit of the society. And if every family can do their job well, then we are collectively building the kind of society that we want to see. And for a long time, the boy child has sort of been neglected, especially emotionally. And this is something that we want to start having conversations around to ensure that we are raising the kind of men that we desire in the society. We complain about our men are not emotionally in touch, they're not connected, they're not interested in parenting, they're not interested in family issues and stuff like that. But how do we change this narrative? It still starts from how we are raising our sons, and it starts from now. So I welcome Ebuka Obika there, and he is the one to come and teach us. He's an amazing person. He runs an initiative, Save the Boys Initiative, and he's mentoring amazing boys that are growing into super awesome men. I'm so awed by the work that he is doing, and that is why I brought him here to ask him the magic that he's using to magnet these boys and to shape them and turn them into amazing men that will bless us in the future and that will change and shape the narrative of our society. So I welcome our very own Save the Boys coach, Ebuka.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
to have you. It's so amazing to have you. So I welcome you. I'm your student right now. We have people already watching. We're going to spread the word so that more people will join in. I'm sure a lot of people are thinking that we're going to start at the same time that we've been having the other sessions. So we have to spread the word so that people will join in more. But we have a lot of people already here. So I'm going to leave the screen for you, and then I'm learning in the background. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Coach Vivian. Thank you for the amazing work you're doing with parents. You are doing such a fantastic job. Well done. And thank you for having me here and speak on raising wholesome boys. Yeah, I'm always excited talking about issues that concern boys. Um, you said something like, knowing the magic we use, to work with boys. Several people have asked me, how do you work with all of these boys? I say boys are very simple and easy to understand. Once you are able to understand them, you will flow with them. In fact, they are very loving people. And I'm having an amazing time working with boys. In my next word, I still want to work with boys. They're a set of amazing people. Thank you very much for this session and for having me. We pray that it will be a fruitful time as we speak. And I appreciate everyone for joining in this conference. Please share, talk to people about this. Let's have these conversations that pertains to boys. Like you see me wearing, our boys need us. And I mean it when I say that, because there have been a lot of neglect when it comes to the boys. Some neglect might be, conscious, some might be unconscious. And today we'll be talking about the issues that surround the world of boys and how we can help them, how we can raise them to be wholesome people, wholesome young men that will change the narrative, the kind of men that we want to see. Thank you. And I'll start by saying that many people have not come to understand or know what is actually going on. And we have been creating this awareness of talking about it, but I'm sure the events that are taking place in recent time is helping the whole world to see that, men, we need to work on our boys. It's so unfortunate that we'll have to let crisis help us to understand the need to build healthy and wholesome boys. We're in a crisis. We're in a difficult time where people cannot even move freely in the night because of armed robbery, because of crime, because of rape, because of all manner of things, cultism. It's a difficult time where people are not just afraid of the money they keep at home, you're even afraid of the one that you keep in the bank, because there are fraudsters everywhere that will suck them and clear their accounts. Where are these people coming from? They didn't fall from the sky. They were products of their upbringing. So we're in a crisis. My heart is burdened when I see the issues women go through, from divorce to wife battering to violence against women to rape to all manner of assaults. Then I see the women going through pain and agony in the hands of men who have not come to understand their true identity. And I keep asking myself, when are we going to come to the end of this? When are we going to begin to raise critical conversations that can help us have a wholesome solution? We're in a crisis. People are afraid, even when their children go there, because it's as if every child is into drugs, everybody is into drugs, as if everybody is into crotts, it's as if everywhere. Look at during the lockdown, we are suffering from the effect of the 1 million boys gang in Lagos, unrest. Look at this time of this SARS movement, where hoodlums came from everywhere, and started attacking things. And I asked myself, where did this men come from? The whole process was scattered and disrupted because what? People that were not properly raised were causing mayhem. And it will shock you to know that even with the whole NSAS saga, who are the perpetrators of those crimes? Most of the policemen that are doing that are 90% male. Where did they come from? Who raised them? So that means that if these men were properly raised, we will not be crying today. But we are crying because we have men that don't understand the identity of what it means to be a man. And unconsciously, we parents are beginning to raise those kind of men in our homes unconsciously. We are raising unconsciously our 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years old sons to become like that unconsciously. And I'll tell you how. So I keep asking myself, where did these men come from? Did they fall from the sky? No. They were born in a home. No man came from the sky or emanated from the ground and just appeared. They all came from the womb. They all went through a mother. They all went through a father. They all came from the home. They were nurtured. So even that baby you are carrying today, if it's not properly groomed, it can be a tyrant tomorrow. You see any world leader that is oppressing anybody, he was once a baby, he was once a boy. Because only a boy that can use to make a man. No man has ever been without first being a boy. So it shows that if we want to enjoy peace, if we want to enjoy the serenity that we so desire, then we must raise our boys wholesomely. Sometimes I see the pain some girls go through. I see some intelligent, beautiful girls, and I'm just praying for their tomorrow. I want this girl to fulfill purpose. I want them to unleash their potential. I see great giftings. And my desire is to raise men that will not be a hindrance, that will not be violent, but who will be a support. And that's how we can have a beautiful society. So what is happening to our boys? Why are our boys all over the streets, smoking, in drugs, in cultism, in fraud? What is happening? We need to sit down and ask, why are our boys raping women? What is happening? We need to begin to ask ourselves critical questions so that we can genuinely converse and raise real answers. As I'm going to be talking about how we raise wholesome boys. How do we raise a 10 over 10 boy, a balanced boy, a healthy boy that will grow up to become the kind of man that we want to see? And I'm talking to parents. And I wish fathers were here to listen. Because the challenge we have that men think nobody don't know. The only product of their upbringing, they are not even open to learning. Appreciate the women that have been in the forefront of trying to raise these boys. I want to encourage you, if a woman listening, your husband is seated there, bring him to listen because it's affecting. Because that boy is refusing to think he can just live and he knows what to do and nothing. By the time it happens tomorrow, he will be available by force. Get them to listen. And so how do we raise wholesome boy? I'm talking about 5 things. Some of these are things that are familiar to you, some things that you've heard, but I want to be talking specifically as it relates to boys. And one of the first thing I'll talk about, which is for me one of the most critical things, and I will tell you why it's critical, is about our limiting beliefs. The first thing you must do if you want to raise wholesome boys is to dismantle limiting beliefs. And you wonder how? How does this belief affect the upbringing of my boy? Watch out and see. There's a limiting belief that most people have. Boys are naturally stubborn. Boys are naturally violent. Boys are hostile. So when you have given birth, you say, madam, prepare. Your house will be on fire because you have boys. God did not create any boy to be violent, to be hostile, to be stubborn. They were created in the image and likeness of God. And if God is not violent, hostile, and stubborn, he can't create your child to be that. So when we have a limiting belief, boys are naturally stubborn, they are violent, they are hostile. So, some people will be telling you, your boy is still gentle. That's because it's not yet 13. By the time he's 13, now will start becoming violent. So you need to prepare and shine your eye before that time. And your mind, you're cautiously expecting a violent and a hostile boy, and unconsciously are beginning to react that way to the boy, and the boy is responding based on your mindset. So many boys become stubborn, violent, and hostile, not because they want to be, but because that is the lens from which you're looking at them, and they consciously adjust to it. Dismantle that belief that is coming from your village people. No boy was raised or born to be hostile and stubborn. If you see your child as that, he will give you stubbornness. So the boys are stubborn, boys are dirty, boys are scattered. So some people say, you don't get boy, your boy is going to prepare for dirty rooms. Because boys' rooms are dirty. From where to where? What kind of belief is that? If you believe that boys' rooms are dirty, your son will continually have a dirty room. Boys' room does not mean dirty room. I don't believe it. Boys' room are neat room, and I keep it neat. So what do you believe? And that's what you begin to see. So sometimes when parents begin to ask, you're becoming violent. So even when you're not seeing violence, even when violence is on there, begin to see. They say by 13, becoming violent, you can even start beating. Let me get set. So when even so, anything the boy does, you begin to now they talk about, you don't they come. They talk and you don't they come. What is coming? And so you begin to naturally respond. And you know, boys, they are garbage in, garbage out. They know what you think about them and they respond to you that way. I've seen some boys that say, sir, me, I'm not stubborn. I'm not. But since my father say I'm stubborn, I want to show him stubbornness. Since my father say I'm a failure, I will make sure I show him failure all the days of his life. Because I try to be who I am, but they keep calling me this. And so let me just be showing them that. Dismantle those beliefs. If not, what you fear most will happen to you. Some of the boys will be boys. They are not married boys. They are like that. They are always bad. They always grow to be smoke. And so it's normal. Boys will be boys. No. Boys will be what they are taught. Some of the boys are not emotional. So you are not expecting the boy to cry. And so you can see parents even telling a 5-year-old boy that say, why are you crying now? Now girl you be, now woman you be. What are you doing? So is the duty of a woman to cry? The woman is created to cry and the man is created to be quiet. There's no proven research that girls are more emotional than boys. It's just limiting beliefs, the cultural beliefs that boys are not emotional, and so you grow up to condition them into not being emotional. So boys are emotional. When you begin to feel that they're not emotional, you say, why they cry? You be woman. Why they do is you be woman. Keep quiet to a man. And you're the one complaining that your husband does not talk to you, does not show emotion, does not care how you feel, but yet you're unconsciously raising your child to be like that man. That your husband that doesn't care, that doesn't listen, that doesn't, is a product of his upbringing. The same way they told him, boys don't they cry, man don't they cry, don't cry, you not be woman you be. That's how he grew up. And so when you're in your marriage, he will not cry. Even when you're feeling bad, he's looking at you like a rock. That's what they taught him, and that's what you're consciously training your child to be. So we unconsciously raise boys who are toxic because we have a limiting mindset that is how a boy should be. So people think boys cannot be abused and boys don't get problem. You will leave your boy with anybody, either a house boy, you go to the street, you see small boys roaming about. I never said the other day, this girl where they come out, why you they play for compound? Why are you playing the compound? Are you a boy? So in her mind, it's boys that should be moving around while the girls should stay inside. They cannot be abused, nothing. They are boys now, nobody. And that's how several boys have been sexually abused by neighbors, by drivers, by painters, by gardeners, by gatesmen, by house helps, because they feel nothing can happen to a boy. Countless number of boys have handled with the ripple effect of this abuse. Why? Because you think it can't happen to boys. Some people say, hey, this boy we are getting now is everything to me. When you have a boy, is everything. It means he's the one that will carry the family, so it's everything. So sometimes we treat the boy as everything, like the Lord of the world. What are you doing? You're unconsciously creating an entitlement mentality in the mind of that boy. And very soon, by the time he's 14, he will start showing you that entitlement mentality. And you will think it's your village people. No, you unconsciously bewitched your boy into thought mentality. You unconsciously bewitched him. He's everything in the world, everything he has, he can have it. Anything he needs, can have it. And a boy, he's the one that is the head of it. He's the one that will be this. Without him, this family is finished. We don't have a name. So you will spoil him and spoil him and spoil him. They're the one that bewitched your child. Because these boys are products of their upbringing. So if we want to raise wholesome boys, what must we do? Begin to dismantle limiting beliefs. Those mindset from the village people, from this one, they are like this, and my boy, now so every boy they do, they will beat, they will, when they get to 14, they want to start beating their mother. And so when you begin to expect a beating, even when it's not there, you interpret things based on what you think and feel. Do not condition your boys into a rock. Don't condition. Some people are the one that conditioned their boys to be hooligans. And so when that happens, that's what you believe, you begin to react to it, and the boys respond to that. That's not who they are. That's not who God created them to be. You must see them in the eyes of what God. When somebody says every boy is stubborn, my own is not stubborn. He was not created stubborn. You will declare it and you speak it, and you will not see your child from that lens. What is the second thing we need to do? As parents, if we want to raise wholesome boys, help these boys to build empathy and healthy emotions. Because that's one of the most critical things that many boys lack, unhealthy emotions. Some people will be crying, these our leaders are like this. They don't even care how people feel. They don't care. Look at the way they are talking. That's the way they grew up to be. No empathy. We have a lot of leaders that can't show empathy, that can't show compassion. The way leaders steal, one person will steal money for 1 million people. No empathy, no compassion, no conscience. That is what he's raised to be. That he can have everything he wants. That is a hard man, the hard man. And we are suffering from the ripple effect of that. And you do this by living it out first. Because an emotion that you've not first expressed, you cannot pass to your boy. By first making your home a safe haven for emotion. If you want to build healthy emotion in boys, you must make your home a safe haven for emotion, where they can express their emotion. So every time everywhere is tense, everybody is under pressure. When daddy is coming back, the lion is coming back, everybody take cover because he will hit you with the bullets. Unhealthy emotions. How can you raise wholesome boys like that? And I'm speaking specifically to fathers. If you're a lion in your house that tears a tiger, that when you arrive, everybody takes you their heels, you are raising tigers that are worse than you. I wish the fathers will come and hear this. Because they are just so in their mind, they are conditioned that as a man, when I come back from the house, everybody should run away, and that's what he begins to build in his mind and unconsciously grows with it. And so when he's married tomorrow, he wants to be the man that when he coughs, everybody shiver. When he enters, the wife shake. When he says, hey, everybody stand, attention. What kind of boys are we raising? The quality of emotions that you express determine the quality of life that you live. So when you're able to raise boys who are expressing healthy emotion, then it will reflect in the kind of lives that they will live tomorrow. If you don't teach these boys empathy and healthy emotion, you just end up raising entitled boys. And that's what we are seeing in society. Entitled men who feel they can get anything they want, they can do anything, because that is what they've been groomed into. Some parents say, boys in the house, they just relax. Everybody is working, so we cross their leg and be watching television. It's your sister that should be working and dying. Mommy in the kitchen cooking, the boy in the parlor watching movie. That's rubbish. So he thinks he's Lord. Anything he wants, they will be serving. He's not responsible. And all you're telling the girl, and be serving your brother so that you learn how to serve your husband. Is that all that is to life? Get your boys to stand up and be responsible. To build healthy emotions. Start teaching them from there. No, you don't shout on your sister. You don't tell the girl, it's your brother. If he's shouting, just keep quiet and accept so that he will not beat you. What are you telling the boy that you can hit a woman that is talking to you? It's your brother. Hey, when he's angry, don't talk so that he will not hit you. He can slap you. What are you saying to the woman or the man? You can hit anytime you want to hit. That is wrong. And then when he starts hitting you at 16, you will say they followed you. No, 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 no. You equipped him to hit you. And when he insisted, he said, just leave it, don't argue with him. Because so what are you making that boy at 5, at 7 to be? To know that he's a lord and he's toxic and he's a commander. No, you begin to teach him from there. No, you can't talk to your sister that way. You need to be respectful when you're talking. You need to calm down when you're talking. You need to also respect her decisions. No, 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 no. It's also your turn to cook. It's also your turn to wash the plate. And you also wash her plate. What are you teaching him? Empathy. Healthy emotions. When somebody hits him and he comes on crying, you not say, keep quiet, you're a man, you shouldn't cry. No, no, no. Let him express how he feels. Let him know that, yes, you can express. Tell me how you feel. Is your home a safe haven for emotions? And, I'm sure most of us know about ACE, Advanced Childhood Experiences. And these experiences that a child has between the ages of 1 to 18 that can permanently cause scar in the person's life forever. And they contribute to 1/3 of a person's problem in life, because that is what they've been conditioned to be or grow with. And this comes from the things where, the way we relate, our absence, the way we shout, the kind of thing we do to them at that age, they grow up to become that. And research has shown to prove that. What kind of emotions are we helping our boys to build? If you cannot give empathy, then you cannot help that child to create value. You must begin to teach that boy even how to be vulnerable, even at a young age. If your sons cannot come to you and express that they make mistakes, then you have lost an opportunity to create value, because that is where it starts. You're not a parent that your child can come when he has made mistakes. Some people only celebrate the success of their children, but they don't know how to talk about shame and failure. Mistakes. If he can't come to you and say, I messed up, then you are losing opportunity to create value in the heart and the life of that boy. So you'll be celebrating success, but how are you handling shame? How are you teaching that child to be vulnerable, to show emotion, to know that even when he fails, this is what he should do and not to die? Not that when they say, hey, man, no, they fail, no, boys don't fail. Boys don't fail, no, hey, you have failed. Your father will finish you. If it was your sister, it would be manageable. What are you saying? The woman can fail, a man cannot fail. Unconsciously, they are saying these things to them, and that's what they grew up with. So don't look at love from a place of convenience, but from a place of vulnerability. And you must teach your boys healthy emotions. Let them cry when they want to. Do more of interactive parenting than reactions, so that you can build boys who are healthy. Our society is in crisis because we have men who lack love, who lack empathy, it's as if they are rock. They are rock. You'll be wondering, does this one have emotions at all? He was not born that way. It's a product of his upbringing. And it's not big things that fashion them into that. It's the little things we say to them while growing up. That is the third thing I want to talk about. If you must build or raise wholesome boys, a balanced boy, you must skillfully build relationships and be available to sustain it. And when I tell a lot of fathers, and I've handled some kind of cases, and the fathers tell me how unavailable they are, I have to. I say, if you don't spend time meeting the emotional need of this your boy, you will spend time dealing with the behaviors that will come from this unmet need. If you are not deliberate to create time to meet with these emotional needs, by the time toxic behaviors will arise from these needs that we are not met, you'll be forced to create time. You must be skillful, and I use the word skillful. It requires a lot of skills to communicate, to relate with boys. Also, learn to be open to learning. and build skills. One of the challenges we have, especially with men, is that most men think they know. Fathers, you will not see them in training, you will not see them in meetings like this. They know, they know, they know. What do they know? They know that, look at the thing they know. They know that any boy that they don't break his head will not be right because they broke their own head. So that is what they know. So my duty as a father is to break his head and make him have scars. That is what will make him a man and be responsible. So you can see how somebody himself can be sick and won't know that he's sick. If you don't spend time meeting the emotional need of your boys, you will surely spend time dealing with behaviors that will come from those unmet needs. And I tell people, authority is not fear or control, it's influence. It's influence. Because you can only have positive influence in the atmosphere of love and trust. It's influence. It's influence that is limitless. Command can only be limited. They will be good where you are, and where you are not there, they are what they are. I will keep explaining to fathers especially. You need to build relationship with your sons. Because the challenge is that these boys don't even have who they are learning rich, confident role model of manhood from. That is the crisis we are in. Okay, we are saying that boys should learn. Who will teach them? Because even the person that is there to teach them as a father, most of them don't even have the right understanding of true manhood. We are in a crisis. They are teaching the boys who they are, what they are, and that is what they grow to be. What are they seeing? A man who doesn't talk to his children, a man who just goes and comes back in the night, a man who only hangs out with friends, a man who just sits and they serve him everything, a man who shouts and everybody shivers, a man who is always frowning when he enters the parlor, a man that wants to sit down, everybody runs away. That is what that boy is seeing as the right replica of a man. A man that when the wife just talk anyhow to him, he will not talk to her for 3 days, and he will threaten her and relieve her of her of. That is what the boy is seeing. Authority is not fear and control; it is influence. And when you are absent, your influence is diminished. And when I'm talking about absent, so many fathers are even present in the house, but they are emotionally absent. When I'm talking about absent, I'm not just talking about being in the house. Some fathers don't go to anywhere, they're always at home, but they are disconnected. Both of them, their father and the son, they are in two worlds in the same house. And all we do is rules and command and rules without relationship leads to rebellion. Rules without relationship can only lead to rebellion. And when relationships are broken down, toxic behaviors are built. Most of us are the ones that unconsciously make our boys to be toxic behaviors because there's no relationship. All you want is to command and control. It only leads to rebellion. There's no connection. There's no flow. They cannot understand why you're telling them to do something that they've not seen you practice or live out. And the father said, hey, you be a good boy, don't be doing it, don't go. But your boy see you when your friends come and drink all manner and talk about all manner. But that same boy sees that you go out and come back by 11 p.m. every day, and you ask him to come back by 4. And when I mean staying out late, I'm talking about, I'm not talking about legitimately always staying out late, maybe at the edge of your work. So because you cannot understand how a father is communicating something they've not seen practically as life. When we set examples as fathers, we will not need rules. When we set, because boys are people who want to be led. Most people think boys are hard. Every boy wants to be led. Every boy needs somebody who will hold his hand and guide him. They want to be led. They want examples they can follow. Do you know why most of our boys are on the streets? Because naturally, no man lives in a vacuum. And when that vacuum has been created at home, there's no connection. Nobody, this man is not teaching me how to be a man. Oh, cultists on the streets to teach them how to be a man. Drug addicts on the street to teach them how to be a man. Fraudsters are there to fill up the vacuum that has been created by their parents. Now listen, one of the most loving people group I've seen is the drug addicts. Those people, very loving. They can spend their last kobo on each other. You can't do that for your child, and a drug addict can do that for him. And he's an emotional being. He's a natural human being who has an emotion to feel. You are not feeling it. So most of our boys on the street, it's not because they want to be on the street, because there's a vacuum, and they just need something to fill up that vacuum. And that is the only place they can find it. If we intentionally begin to create time, and we are there to fill it up, most of our boys will not be on the streets. So many of our boys are using drugs to fill an emotional vacuum. I'm speaking because I've handled cases, and they keep telling me I lost connection, especially with my father, and I needed something to fill it up. My father told me I'm a failure and I can't amount to anything in life, and I wanted to just prove to him that I'm a failure. I'm quoting verbatim from the mouths of some boys. When you're not there to fill it up, something else will be there to fill up that emotional tank. So we are troubled because nobody is there to guide the boy on the rich, confident manhood. How a man should be, what a man should be at this stage. It's unfortunate that so many boys never had the conversation of even wet dreams with their father. Your father, you can't sit your son and talk about wet dream. You can't talk about erection. You can't talk about crushes. It's pathetic. I was in a program one time, and a boy of 21 years old, at 21, he still felt he was abnormal, as if he was sick, and he was being depressed for years. I've asked several boys, your father has never had conversation about wet dreams, erection, about puberty? Appreciate the mothers that are doing that. And I say, mother, I don't want to hear my husband doesn't know how to do it, so I have to do it for him. No, man. No, man. He has to know how to do it. Nobody was born with to know how to do it. Everybody learns it. You're not the one that will be teaching your son erection. Do you have erection, madam? So no matter how close the mothers are to their sons, there's some things they cannot be able to communicate no matter how you try as a mother. You can't. You can get to a limit, but there's a place of the past. So I don't know if you guys hear me. Now, the husband doesn't have time. He doesn't know. He doesn't know how to teach it. He doesn't know. Like what? Like seriously? You don't know how to teach your son erection or that, but you had erection? I can't fathom why fathers will say, mothers can even say, my husband cannot teach. He doesn't know. You have to learn. Is it not by reading, by being deliberate? You will need to commit them to. They are the ones that you have the child together. They have to teach the boy. You are not a man. You don't have a penis. You don't know how it feels. She knows he needs to teach it, because if you don't teach them, the internet are there to teach them. The LGBT community, they are there to teach them. The world, they are there to teach them. The pornography industry, they are there to teach them. Even no matter how your son loves you as a mother, there's some things he can't tell you. He needs a man. I see every boys I've met longing for the love, for the attention of a father. For a man to tell them what it means to be a man. You see them lost in identity crisis. They don't even understand what it means to be a man. They are lost. They don't understand how a man should respond, what a man should do, what next to do, how to take this step. They are lost. I want to build a healthy society. We are just in for, look at where we are. If we don't wake up to deal with the matter from the roots, we go nowhere. We must wake up and be deliberate. We must raise wholesome boys. We can't keep crying of evil leaders. Husband, every time divorce, women are beaten. We need to start teaching our boys consciously and intentionally. We need to begin to engage our husbands. You shouldn't be seated watching and learning as a parent, and your husband is sleeping or drinking coffee and watching football. Oga, come and learn how to raise a wholesome boy. Commit them to learning with wisdom. Because the fathers and the men are the forefront of the reasons for this crisis. Because we are not available to teach. We must do what? Skillfully build and be available to sustain relationship. Skilled. And you do that by learning. And that takes me to my next point. Evolve and be open to learning. You need to evolve and be able to learn unless you lose your voice. Times have changed though. We are not in 1962. We are in 2020 and we'll soon enter 2021. Even dollar, I'm talking for those in Nigeria, was not $1 to this thing now. Things are changing. Even the rice you bought 6 months ago has increased. Things are changing and you're evolving, but you don't want to evolve in your parenting skills. Are you still buying car 5,000 naira as you bought in 1960? No. So why we are evolving and you are adjusting to the change, but yet you want to train your child the way you were trained in 1960? No, it doesn't work that way. How many pornography did you see in 1970? How many games did you see in 1962? Which Android phone were you using in 1979? Which network were you using that time? How many adverts did you see in 1950 with naked people? It's visible to the blind. They were in a different time. Even the Bible recognizing this. That's why I say, when sin abound, more grace abound. We're in a difficult time. We are raising children in a difficult, in a toxic, in a dangerous, in an evil world. And guess what? Oh my God. If you don't work to build your boy, the people on the other side are having sleepless nights to get your sons. So you can't be lazy. Those who want to ruin your son's life are tirelessly working. Those who want to grab your son's attention in the world and in the streets, they are tirelessly working. They are working day and night on the internet, not sleeping, stuffing with pornography, new content, ways to steal money, ways to be a fraudster. They are not sleeping, but you are sleeping. It doesn't work that way. You need to evolve. We need to wake up. We can't be careless and lazy. You don't build a skyscraper without preparing for it. What kind of a child are you building? Is it a hut? No, we have passed the era of huts. So you can't build a skyscraper without sitting to prepare for it. You can't build a wholesome boy without preparation. Drug addicts, cultists that want to take your sons, they are not sleeping, they are working, they have targets, they have goals. And so you have to evolve. Evolve and be open to learning. Tomorrow belongs to people who prepare for it today. Be willing to have frank conversations with your sons and be willing to talk about controversial issues. Not that when your boy come and say, what will you? I'm having feeling for a man. You would have died and resurrected before you answer. Oga, Do you know what to tell a boy that comes to you and say he's struggling with masturbation for the past 6 months? If some parents catches their son in masturbation, they would have called 10 people in the village. Hey, Bobe, I saw my son doing it. Hey, he's not going out again. So be monitoring the time their children will enter the bedroom and be counting how many minutes. Hey, you're not ready. Be willing to have frank conversation. Talk about controversial conversations. It's not the time of you are not lying down to greet. This is the time where they are talking of hair. Is it mohawk? How do I put my hair? Does it stand like this? And they ask you, why should I not put it? Didn't John the Baptist have his own like that? Even Jesus' own was like that. They will quote the scripture. What will you say? Do you know what to tell your son when he comes back to you and say, I was raped? Do you know how to talk to your son when he comes back to you and say, I'm having suicidal thoughts? Do you know what to say? Such as so that most boys die of suicide, even though more girls attempt. Do you know what to say? Respect to the dead. But how can your son be with you and is sexually molested? And we have cases where boys are sexually abused that they even begin to have maggots come out from their anus with very stinking and dirty, irritating and wounds. You're not aware. Because you feel they don't do anything to the boys. One of the things we did in this time of rape is to even go and interact with some of the boys that are rapists. Most of them are victims, are product of sexual abuse. House helps. Such as shown that how many percent of them your boys have the first encounter of sex with how those girls, older ladies. And so by the time they are 13, they cannot close their eyes to anything on skirt. Why? Because these things has opened them very early to a wide sexual appetite. Oh, nothing happened to the boys. We need to be involved and be open to learning. To talk about every issue, no matter how controversial. People that want to destroy your son's life, they are not resting, can't rest. Talk about issues. They're how far. Help them to. Some people don't even understand the developmental stages of boys' growth. You don't even understand the testosterone. You don't even understand the energy your boys has and why he has that. You don't understand where you have the peak of that energy. And when he starts, you think it's village people. It's just a natural endowment. So because you don't know how to help that boy release that energy positively. Say you go out too much to play, but always lock in the house. You will stay inside the house and turn to a drug addict under your roof. They will be smoking inside and stop the door with wet towel. The smell can penetrate. He said, no, I said, my son is a pastor. He's a virgin. He doesn't know anything. Please don't be telling anything they don't know. Don't know what? I just laugh. This one that slept with several people. Pastor in the house. Because you're a command and control parents, they will show you pastor when you're under their control. But when you leave, because you don't have influence, you do and become who they are. And so shockingly, most parents discover that their sons have gone wild when some even discover when their children become head of courts and they've held them, they've arrested them, or they've stolen one money, or they killed them before they know that their child has been going through deep issues. You know, when a girl is sexually active, you can see it. You can see it over her. You need to change the way she looks, the way she dresses. When a boy becomes sexually active, he becomes more mature. What does that do to? He becomes more quiet and more mature. So they become more quiet and more matured, and you think nothing is happening. We need to wake up. We need to evolve. We need to begin to take training. There are books that talks about boys growth. There are a lot of books. A lot. I mean a lot. Some people say there are no books. There are a lot of books of boys, raising boys. Read and understand the different stages, what to expect, what to see, why they behave the way they do, what they are doing this, why they are saying this. Understand. Get your husbands to read the book. Understand. Don't be afraid to raise any conversation with them. Talk about drugs. Talk about courtism. Talk about crushes. Talk about it. Ask them. Don't say boys don't talk. They talk now, but they can't just call you and say, come and let's start talking. If there's no relationship, then there's no conversation that can flow. Place of relationship, that connection is built. And lastly, because my time is going up, what should you do? Maintain a spiritual posture. I put this last, and I want to say something about this as I close. To know that this crisis over the life of boys that we are seeing today didn't start today. Yes, I want to talk about from the spiritual lens. But I'm not saying that a good parenting is what you possess by your possession. I possess it. No, you work it out. It first begins with you. So you plan. I'm just trying to bring a dimension that you need to know, but you don't just focus on it. Someone say, Jesus is a perfect example. He was always in the temple. As a man that wants to show my children Jesus, I should always take them to the temple. Very good. But Jesus was also eating with his disciples. They were leaning on his shoulder. They can talk to him. They can cry. They can hug. They can go walk together. So why are you only taking to the church? Why are you not also doing the other part of Jesus, of leaning, of eating with them, of interacting with them, of being open to them? And Jesus is an example. Let's follow his example in all the ways. Can you be like the father of the prodigal son, who your child can run back to no matter where he goes to? Is your home a safe haven for emotion? That's a close. It's not just today. There has been a battle over the life of the boys. From the time of Moses, he said, kill every male child. To Jesus, Herod, another Herod, kill every male child. We have seen that in scriptures. Why was Herod particular about the male child? Bible speaking in Malachi 4:6, and I will restore the heart of the fathers to the children and children to the father, lest I come and destroy the land with a curse. Which means there's a critical role the man plays, and when that heart is disconnected, the land is in chaos. And our land is in chaos because men are disconnected from their children and from their family. Malachi 4:16. Cross. So you must understand that even beyond all this, as you plan, as you are there, you are standing in the gap for your son and say, no. Even today, there are so many Herods that are looking for those male children to destroy. I always tell people, if the enemy wants to get a nation, it goes to the family. And when it goes to the family, it goes to the father, which is the head. Why? When I get the father, the family is scattered, and what will they produce? Broken children who can amount to nothing in the society. So they are strategic, and that's why there's a battle and rage over the families, and over the men. Because once they are disconnected, you discover that most women find it difficult to even get their bearing when the father is not responsible. And the children hardly come out well. And those children are the ones that will become leaders and other fathers tomorrow. So get them broken, let them produce broken children, let's have broken leaders. So you must know that beyond the physical, you must stand in the gap. There are Herods that are also looking for these male children to destroy, to ruin them, so that the enemy can have a field day. As a parent, as you have done your part, that's why I talk about critically emotions, building connection. You must begin to stand in the gap to resist Herods over your boys. Herods over their life. We need wholesome boys. We need to raise 10 over 10 boys that are balanced. Enough of the crisis. Enough of the issues that our women and girls are going through. We must begin to equip boys and men that will help them and guide them and be a strength, a support, a partner to building the kind of life we want them to be. I'll end by saying, we're in a crisis. But do you even know the crisis? Because you cannot prepare for a battle you are not aware of, and you cannot win a battle that you are not prepared for. Let's rise up and begin to equip our boys. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
I would like to take questions if there are any.
Thank you. Do you have questions? If you have questions, please drop them. This has been this session. It calls for introspection. as in it's a call to action, like for us to go back and think, because it's deeper than we think. It's actually deeper than we think. I said this yesterday. I said, if you ever think that parenting is something that you should do casually, then you need to have a rethink, because what you're doing basically in the family is determining what the society is going to be. And like Ebuka has made us see, for the boy child especially, there is an agenda to distract them, because when you're able to distract them, these are the people who are supposed to lead the family in the future. And when you're able to distract them, that means you have shaken the family system. And we need to start paying more attention to how we are raising our boys. Okay, no question is coming in, but there are a lot of praises and a lot of thanks for you. Relama Mando is saying power packs. Thank you. What's your Instagram handle, please? They're asking for your Instagram handle. I think that's
Okay, you
at
want me to answer that now? Okay.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
Instagram, my handle is Ebuka_boys coach. Just the way my name is written, just here, Ebuka_boys coach. On Facebook, Ebuka Obika. You can see me, or Save the Boys Initiative on any social media handle. When you just have Save the Boys Initiative on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, we're there. But my personal handle, Ebuka_boys coach. Yeah, that is it. Thank you.
All right, all right.
That we can
So
have these conversations beyond here and see
yes,
how we can help your boys that are struggling, or help them
yes,
understand sexuality or issues that are around the boys. We are always available for the boys because our boys need us.
yes. Someone is asking if you do have one-on-one session for teenagers. I think so. Yes, he
Yes,
does.
we do. We run
Yeah.
mentoring club for boys, we run boys leadership academy, and also have one-on-one sessions with boys. We do very, very well. So you can reach
Uh,
us if you need us to have that session.
all right. So someone said, I just discovered my 7-year-old son likes to have egos just like men. I stand to be corrected though. Please, how do I change the egocentric boy in him so he can learn from me?
Thank you very much. I'm sure it's a mother that is asking. No, he needs to learn from the father. For him to begin to act this, it means he's already seeing this in somebody. It might not really be your husband, it might be another man that is in the house. So he's already adjusting or conforming to what he's seeing. So you, as a mother, you have you are also in a position to help that boy understand who a man is. That no, a man is this. You have to build healthy emotion as a man. You have to be empathic. You have to be compassionate as a man. You have to be able to be respectful as a man. But beyond the mother, no matter how you talk to him, that boy needs another man to see what it really means to be a true man. He will adjust faster when he's seeing that from a man and learning than when he's just hearing you say it. So you need to guide him, but you need to bring your husband up to speed to know, or whoever, to know that this is already affecting this boy and we need to help him on time.
Okay, someone says, what do you say to moms raising boys as single parents?
Thank you very much. Very critical question, because I've already said at the beginning that no matter how effective you are as a mother, there's a place of the man. So I want to say to single mothers, there are male mentors that can help. There are so many single mothers that have, we work with. Though my hands are full, I'm not saying you should come, that yes, we come in that place as a parenting partner, so that the boy will also be learning what it means to be a man, not maybe from another man who is a male role model. So there are pastors around, or there are boys, maybe a teacher that he respects. So you intentionally create a relationship and let the person know this is what we are doing. So the person will walk in that line and help that boy build healthy masculinity. So you need a male mentor for your son to help him build that.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining. There are still some questions coming in, but our time is up. Just
we
follow
can still take one or two.
Yes, just follow Ebuka on his Instagram. You can send him a DM and make all your inquiries and ask him questions. I'm sure he's willing and he's magnanimous enough to answer all your questions. Thank you, Ebuka, for this session. is loaded, loaded, loaded. Thank you for awakening us. Thank you for
Thank you.
opening our eyes and helping us see better the need to be more intentional, to create a plan for raising our sons. If you have been following us from the beginning, you can see that parenting, you cannot do parenting without a plan. There must be a plan. There must be
Very
a
true.
sitting down. There must be a thinking. There must be a strategy. You can't just do parenting up and go anyhow. Anything happens, God forbid, is not my portion. You must have a plan. Register it, write it down. Say, I must have a plan for my parenting. No matter how old your child is, at every stage of your parenting, you must have a plan. You must know what you want to do. You must know how you want to do it. You must know the problems you're trying to solve. Because if you don't even understand the problems you're trying to solve, how are you going to know when the solution presents themselves? How are you going to structure yourself so that you can solve those problems? We cannot leave the destinies of our children to chance. We must plan and work with God as well. But God will not do what you yourself are supposed to do. You have to put in your own part of the work, and then God will do his own part of the work. Right? So guys, thank you for joining. Our next session comes up by 3. We have a short break. Our next session comes up by 3, and that session is very important. We're talking about your parenting, your dreams and your visions. Parenting, your dreams and your visions. How to have a balanced approach. That's the conversation we're having in our next session, and that is so important because in my time working with parents, I see a lot of parents. You either see a parent who feels that their lives have been stolen away from them because they became parents. And then you also see those who use their children as excuses for not doing the things that God is putting in their hearts to do. God, who gives you the vision, knows that you have the capacity because he's also the person who gave you the children. So how do we make sure that we're living a balanced life, that we're providing care for our children, as well as doing the things that God has put in our care? That is the conversation we're going to be having in the next session. Please set your timer. Set your timer and come back by 3 o'clock. Use the second link in the email I sent and in the Telegram. And I see you right in that session. Kindly share what you have learned. All these things that we have learned now, share it on your social media, share it on Instagram. Ebuka says something. He said that the porn stars or the porn creators who want to attract your children are not sleeping. Those are the things that go viral, bad news, things that will influence our kids. But things like what we're doing here, we don't make it go viral. The negative things are going viral because we are not making the positive things go viral. So if you're watching this thing, share it. The more parents who hear about this summit and learn and become better, the better for all of us. Because if we all are doing the right thing, then our children are safer and our society is better. So guys, share, share, share. Use the hashtag Parent Summit Africa 2020. You can tag me and I'll reshare. So once again, thank you, Ebuka. Thank you so much. And
Thank you for having me.
have,
Thank you.
have a wonderful time. Thank
You
you for
too.
blessing us. And God bless you. God bless you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
All
Bye.
right.